Well, we'll give him a second to join us then. I mean, we asked them early, so.
Bus doesn't leave early. They don't like that. Zero earlies, please.
Good morning, Stephen.
Morning. Morning.
I didn't see it.
Flying to the open in the morning. Then pushes back 10 minutes early. Yeah. We have to make it. So we eventually come back to the gate. Hour and a half later, we're back on the phone. So, call the meeting to order. Good morning, everybody. Welcome.
Good morning. Morning.
Thank you for your presence and attendance at our meeting. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you very much. And may I ask us all to stand and ask our CEO to lead us through the pledge of allegiance? Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Um, I notice we have at least the number of seats filled with interested persons, so thank you for joining us. Any comments from the public at this time? We need to do things that are more controversial so that we can elicit the public comment. Don't think.
Doctor.
All right. There are no comments, then we move on to one of my favorite agenda points always, recognition time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is my privilege to share with you today the story of someone who represents the very best of CARTA, Elizabeth Stamper, this month's CARTA Ambassador Award recipient. Elizabeth, would you stand up to the scene? This award is a reflection of our mission in action, a celebration of employees who embody our values of empowering lives, connecting communities, and delivering exceptional service. Liz not only meets these ideals, but exceeds them in ways that leave an indelible mark on our organization and the community we serve. Liz is known for her boundless positivity and her ability to light up a room with her smile, which you just enjoyed. Her colleagues describe her as a ray of sunshine, and it's easy to see why. Her infectious enthusiasm combined with genuine care for others has made her a cornerstone of the CARTA community. Liz consistently goes above and beyond in her responsibilities, offering help to anyone in need, including passengers, her coworkers, or new team members who she mentors through our partnership with the Amalgamated Transit Union. Her mentees speak highly of her guidance, praising her for her patience, encouragement, and her unwavering support that she offers. For passengers, Liz represents the heart of public transit. She's not just a driver, she's a caretaker, a problem solver, and a trusted face they rely on. Her respect for and connection with our passengers make her not only an effective driver, but a true ambassador of our mission to serve the public with dignity and professionalism. Liz is the type of person who rearranges her personal plans to help when her team needs her most. She shows up early, she works late, and she gives 100% every day, even when she's not feeling her best. Her steadfast commitment paired with her compassionate nature sets a standard of excellence that inspires her colleagues and reflects the very best of what CARTA strives to achieve. Liz reminds us of the power of human connection and the impact one person can have on many lives. And by the way, 2 different people nominated her for this award this month. It's now my honor to introduce Liz Stamper, our CARTA Ambassador Award winner. Liz, please come through and so we can celebrate your achievements and thank you for your incredible contribution.
That smile. Awesome, wonderful.
Congratulations. Honestly, it's an honor for us to have a person of your caliber and collegial spirit and community spirit and helpfulness. As was said, you are truly an inspiration to all of us. And it's my honor to give you this award on behalf of CARTA and to recognize you for the exceptional colleague that you are. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, the picture. Congratulations.
At this moment, in his absence, I would like to thank Evan Freeland for standing in for me at the previous board meeting when I was not able to attend. I read the minutes. I see under his leadership of the meeting, it was the best meeting we've had all year. So I thank him, as I say, in his absence. Are there any comments to the minutes? So Nina, thank you for preparing them so well. Having read them, I I felt like I was there. Can I have a motion to support adopting the minutes, please?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Then approved. Thank you. Any against? I'm assuming no one is objecting. Then it is accepted. Thank you very much. Item 7, we have a special presentation that I'm looking forward to. We welcome our guest, Dr. Jordan King.
Mr. Chairman, if I might just introduce and have a seat, please. Board members and friends, Dr. Jordan King has been a great partner with CARTA. You may recall I introduced our partnership with the UTC Honors College, and he's here today just to give you a brief overview of the first semester of the program. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. King so he can share.
Yeah, thank you so much, Charles, and thank you to the board and everyone for having me. I'm happy to share a little bit about the work we have been doing. I'm the director of our Innovations in Honors program at the UTC Honors College, and let me pull this up. We have a program for currently enrolled students and transfer students to join the Honors College and do a community-based learning opportunity and with a partner. This year, one of ours is with CARTA, and our whole process is really about trying to create solutions to community challenges, doing that through design thinking, which is a process where we learn from the stakeholders, partners, and those impacted by these challenges, and try to create a solution or something that can help to address this issue and be able to foster some change. Our goal is really to pilot a solution that is one, desirable, so we want to make sure it's responding to the needs of our community as well as what Charles and our partners at CARTA are expressing. Something that is feasible so that we can actually implement with the students' skills, being able to make something happen, and something that can lead to more lasting impact so that it's viable. So we have these different principles you can see up on the slide that sort of guide us in our approach. And as opposed to more standard academic ways of understanding problems or trying to create knowledge, our approach is very much focused on not just understanding and analysis, but taking action, creating something that's useful, and really being able to engage with the community. So we have done several things to move towards this point over the course of the semester. We've gotten students out doing observations. We took a couple of bus tours. One that I led as a chance to introduce students to CARTA and the community a little bit more. One that Charles and Scott helped to arrange for us to really learn about the behind the scenes of operations, some of the different considerations for students. And they have gone through a process now to not only engage with the community, but do some background research, think about how we move towards proposal of a project that they would like to implement in the spring semester. So we just had our presentations with students earlier this week on Tuesday to share their ideas, to get some feedback from Charles and Scott, and be able to help them move forward in the spring so that they can implement something, test it, and be able to suggest how this might be useful to CARTA moving forward. So I want to highlight our 5 groups in the areas that they are addressing. We have one group that is focused on ADA compliance, and this just gives a snapshot of some of the things they're looking to do, the idea that they have proposed. This group has identified a need for different features of stops that can promote accessibility. Their idea is called a stop like no other because they want it to be a inviting stop, something that meets the needs of users and allows for greater accessibility. They created as a very initial prototype, a Lego model that was able to show some of the different features. So our program is all about how can we do something tangible, get creativity flowing, and spark some ideas and innovation. The next group was focused on rider engagement, and they came up with several ideas. One that they thought was very promising was thinking about how we connect Carta as a link to some of the cultural and natural features of the community, especially using it as a way to get people to parks and other natural features. So they created some initial campaign ideas, how to do that, as well as thinking about how to adapt some of the services that might better link passengers, some of the things that they want to get to in the area, including tourists as well, trying to make that connection stronger so that they can enjoy Chattanooga, but have Carta be essential to that enjoyment. Our next group was on social media, and this group is really focused on how we can bring a foundation to what Carta does and set up really a strategy for different social media approaches. They've developed several different ideas, including how we can leverage both the people of Carta as internal influencers to share their stories, like what we just heard about from Liz, perhaps, as a way to make Carta even more appealing to the community, but also as a way to bring in external influencers or those from the community who are using services or connected to it, and highlight those stories as well on social media. And they bring some of the technical expertise to this area as well to help provide a boost to what we're aiming to do. Our next group has been focused on the shuttle system and thinking about sort of two aspects of this. One is how to make the ride and use of the shuttle system itself feel more comfortable, safe, and enjoyable, but then also to think critically about the locations and routes of the shuttle and how that could maybe connect to growing areas of the community that have different attractions that are perhaps underserved now, but the shuttle could be better connected to. So they proposed some different ideas about both the design of the shuttle and its routes. And then our final group is focused on this broad category of unmet needs. And this has been to try and think about some of the areas, users, and also just different ways of engaging people that haven't currently been met. And they've identified that a real challenge at the core of this is how to get younger generations more invested in Carta, trying to build over the long term. So their idea has been to develop a competition with schools where they would design a wrap or a bus using the idea of what's the future of Chattanooga and what's Carta's role in that. So an artistic competition that the students would help to facilitate that could lead to a bus wrap that could highlight some of these community engagement pieces and how we get Carta serving as a really central role for the future of Chattanooga. And I want
that vision for the.
they've gotten creative with some things using AI and I love it. It's great. The last thing I wanted to share is the sort of impact this has already had on our students as we've gone through sort of creating ideas and looking to implement them. And I think it's been really meaningful for their experience, and hopefully this is their work can contribute to this sort of transformation for others in the community of how they think about Carta. So we asked the students to think about their initial perceptions of Carta when we started this semester. You can read here some of the different things about how they didn't think it was very safe, maybe not very inviting or comfortable, that it wasn't connected to the community. They had maybe poor perceptions of Carta's staff itself. And so really a sort of almost negative and perhaps misconception as they got into the semester. But as we've engaged with Carta and with the community learning more, now we have all of these positive sort of transformations in mindset that have occurred, where they're really seeing Carta as a central piece of our community. They're recognizing all of the investment and dedicated effort that's going into trying to improve the services and connection to what Chattanoogans need. And so this has really had a positive effect on the students, and we're hoping that they can leverage this as a way to have a positive effect on the community. So it's been great so far, and I'm very thankful for Charles and Scott who have supported this so much. Thank you for all of you to hear a little bit about this idea. I'm happy to take any questions you might have about some of what we've done or where we are maybe headed as we move over the spring semester, so January to May, to implement some of these ideas, test them out, evaluate them, and try and get a vision of how we can make recommendations for some future initiatives for Carta. So thanks for your time, and yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions.
What are those next steps?
Yeah, thanks. So we are working to give very targeted guidance to the groups on some of the logistics and action items that can help them go from idea to implementation. So as we give that sort of feedback, the students will work on it varies for each group, but it could be contacting partners, looking for different funding sources, trying to plan events or services, develop products. So it looks a little different for each group, but they're moving forward with those things, and at the core of that is sort of partnerships, creativity, and then being able to have a tangible output that they can also evaluate. So, and that's very broad, but looks a little different for each group, but really trying to move towards actually doing these things with the support of our team at Carta.
I was kind of interested in putting it into the schools as far as the art with the bus route. Exactly how you.
So we are, our students right now are looking into identifying specific schools that they want to connect with, and then developing the sort of activities that would support and integrate into what's going on in the classroom. And then facilitating a competition where they could collect drawings from students that perhaps are also supplemented by some information about Carta and different services. And then they can use those drawings to perhaps have the community vote on what would make for a great bus route. So trying to move forward with some partnerships, get into classrooms, and then ultimately culminate in a output that could become a route.
So you said specific schools, not all schools.
Or, yeah, and that's part of this can be an open-ended process. And so some of it is about creating investment in the community, and that doesn't always happen, but we're hoping that we can, yeah, make as many connections as possible. And some of this is also, how can we do something on a smaller scale that could become something more in the long term that could be all schools as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was very interesting. And I hope that we hear a lot more from you quite frequently before.
Yes, thank you so much.
And I understand that Charles is already planning the penthouse suite there on top of the building.
For the chairman.
I doubt it. All right, I really enjoyed that. May I just ask one more question? How many students are participating in?
Yeah, thank you. We have 16 students in our class, and so they're split across those 5 groups.
Okay. Very good. Okay, moving on to item number 8, our CEO report, please, Charles.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chair Denison, Board of Directors, Carta employees, our media partners, and the public, of course. I'm pleased to update you this month with several key initiatives and partnerships that are helping Carta strengthen our relationship with the Chattanooga community. And as the team continues to focus on fixing our core business and advancing mobility, we're seeing some significant progress with engagement, collaboration, and some impactful increases in ridership. So allow me first to just share with you, I attended the Chattanooga Connect 2024 conference at UTC, which was really an inspiring glimpse into the future of mobility. Dr. Mina Sartipi asked me to participate in the AI, artificial intelligence panel. And I was pleased to introduce Dr. Sartipi and several guest speakers for the V2X Connected and Autonomous Vehicles Technology panel. V2X stands for Vehicle to Everything Communication System, which UTC has already installed along the Martin Luther King Jr. corridor And this really aligns perfectly with CARTA's vision for the future, smarter, safer, and more connected public transit. Next, happy to share some of our staff development accomplishments. We don't always do this in this setting, but I just felt inspired this month. Throughout the month, we've hosted several employee training opportunities. In the left here, we did great training this month with Americans with Disabilities Act training for all of our directors, our managers, fixed route supervisors, caravan employees, as well as technical training on Trapeze, which is the software application that we use for facilitating caravan trips. So this is definitely a step in the right direction for getting people educated and informed about the requirements with ADA. Similarly, I'm happy to let you know that members of our planning team, Tanikia Adamson, Isaac Mercer, and Kevin Morgan, recently attended a training session with Clever Devices, which is our CAD AVL system. It's really the backbone of our fixed route transit operations. And what was exciting about it was after the training and the conference, the team came back and with a wealth of knowledge, and they put together a presentation, and then they gave us the presentation, the executive leadership team, with recommendations about ways that we can enhance the service, improve how we're doing business in the dispatch office. And so I think that this was exciting to see the staff development that's happening as we're trying to improve our services. And then finally, just want to give a shout out to Director Evatt, who spent some time with our planning team as well, really educating them about how we do our ridership statistics and the Power BI platform that Director Evatt had an input set up for CARTA. And so the team is going to be starting to take over that process. And again, just staff development. So I really appreciate what the team is doing. And thank you, Director Evatt, for your assistance there. Up next, at the request of Mayor Kelly, I have joined the Chattanooga-Hamilton County Children's Cabinet, where leaders come together and we share information to support Hamilton County Schools' mission to equip students with knowledge, skills, and support to thrive in life, which is a fantastic mission statement. But the discussions are centered around ensuring that children in our community have access to education, healthcare, and other critical activities. Specifically for CARTA, what this means is a mapping exercise where we're mapping all of these after-school resources throughout the year during the summer months, mapping that against our services, our fixed routes, CARTA Go, caravan services, so that those children and their families know how to access these resources year round. So it's really been a positive engagement. Next, too many, sorry. Next, stakeholder engagement strategy. I've had the privilege this last month in speaking to two different groups. First, the Public Relations Society of America, PRSA, and the American Council of Engineering Companies, ACEC. Both were really good opportunities for me to engage with these influential groups in the community. And I had the opportunity to connect with public relations professionals, engineers, and really get the word out about the good work that CARTA has been doing in the last year as we're fixing our foundation, preparing for growth in the future. And these professionals have a major impact in the future of Chattanooga. So it was a good way for me to get out in front of them, highlight the work that we're doing, and that creates a lot of synergy and momentum. I've been asked to do a couple of other things coming up through those engagements. Moving on, and excited to share this, we're really happy about being able to take City Council Vice Chair Jenny Hill on CARTA's first windshield tour. So you're going to hear me talk about windshield tours, transit tours. And during this tour, the team and I pointed out, we picked up Vice Chair Hill and took a drive through District 2. We pointed out the assets that we have in her community, as well as some of the challenges that we're facing there. And it's a great way to really highlight how our services are integrated into that community and identify opportunities for improvement. Equally important, Vice Chair Hill was able to share with us her vision for the people that she represents. And so she feels really great about the opportunities there in North Chattanooga. And it was very valuable for us to spend time hearing directly from her. This windshield tour is the first of many that we plan to conduct with the rest of City Council and county commissioners as well. And these tours are an important part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen those relationships. Similarly, we had another transit tour this week. The team and I had the privilege of taking the board of directors of the Launchpad on a 2-hour transit trip. For those of you that are not aware, the Launchpad offers a safe haven for women for up to 2 years, where as residents, they can attend regular support meetings, participate in workforce development opportunities, and work towards obtaining gainful employment, which is why transportation is particularly important to this group. The purpose of our tour was to literally show the board how Carta's fixed route caravan and Car2Go resources are serving the community, but equally important, demonstrating to them how we're failing the community at the same time with not enough frequency, not enough service on the road to get people to the jobs that they need to be at. So for some specificity on the transit tour, if you haven't been with us yet, all of the participants have headsets that they get to wear, and Carta staff is narrating during the journey. This particular trip, we went downtown, and then from downtown to Hamilton Place on Route 4, showing the board all of the essential services, the job opportunities that are along that corridor. And another goal of the tour was to highlight how Carta can support the Launchpad residents as part of an upcoming pilot program where residents will have access to fare-free service. And so we're developing that now. It was a successful and impactful tour and really allowed us to build this new relationship. So happy that we were able to do this, and we'll have some more of these coming up. Next, want to talk a little bit about, skipping that. Next, I want to talk about this one instead. Carta employees, congratulations. Carta Board of Directors, congratulations. It was an honor to accept the Hamilton County Schools Partner in Education Family Resource Award this last week. This recognition celebrates the success of our Read and Ride program in collaboration with the Chattanooga Library. As you can see here, we've generated over 9,500 student trips since we started the pilot program, which is really incredible. So it's been very rewarding to see how this initiative has opened doors for students. They're able to access educational resources, and it's fulfilling to know that we've made an impact in so many families' lives. And this partnership is a great opportunity to show how transit can play a role in supporting education and strengthening our community. So congratulations, Board of Directors, and thank you for your support here. And then finally, as the holiday season approaches, I'm excited to share some of Carta's upcoming charitable endeavors. Starting actually today in an hour, we'll be part of the Grateful celebration and lunch at the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. We'll have a bus on site to collect donations, which we will later deliver today to the McClellan's Shelter for families supporting those in need of our community. Then 1 week from today, on Thanksgiving morning, we'll be lending a hand with a warming bus and some services to support the Grateful Gobbler Walk as well. So we're really getting out there, getting our name out there. And then finally, I would like you to mark your calendars for Saturday, December 7th, where Carta will be out in force. We've invited our employees to participate. Board members, you're invited to participate, where we will have our bus in the Main by 24 parade at 10:30 on Saturday morning. It's gonna be an exciting day, so I really hope that you're able to attend with us. But these events are a wonderful way to give back to our community and celebrate the season together, so I hope to see you all there. This concludes my report, Mr. Chairman, and I'm available for any questions that any of you may have.
Thank you very much, Charles. Colleagues, any comments, questions, observations?
I'll just say, express my gratitude personally, but just thank you again for engaging all of these organizations, all of the helpers in Chattanooga, and showing that we're helpers too. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have the sense that the things that you're doing here are moving the needle. My question, I guess, is in order to help people make decisions that will impact Florida's future, do we have data or ways of getting
data that demonstrate the concrete economic value that Carta brings to this community?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, in particular today. So board members, I don't know if you know this, it's on my mind, but, it was a year ago today at the November board meeting that you all formally authorized the chair to extend me the opportunity to come and join this organization. It was a year ago today. And so as I've been reflecting on that, I was reminded that during the interview process and in meeting all of you, you all shared with me, and even when I met with the mayor, you all shared with me that the thing that we needed to do was really twofold in this next year. Number one, we needed to increase ridership, show and demonstrate that we could, with the resources we have, increase ridership. And number two, really start to demonstrate to this community that we are a value contributor and here to participate. And so it's a little bit ahead of the agenda, but if I may, on the consent agenda this month and in your packets on page 16, we've included our statistical report. And so it goes to your question about concrete data. You'll see that our ridership for the calendar year 2024 for fixed route ridership and Car2Go is up 4.7% over this same period last year. Similarly, shuttle ridership is up 20% over this same time period last year. And further down on that same page, you'll see that caravan ridership has an all-time high ridership over the last 2 years, over 5,000 trips. And so the answer, and I guess I just want to take advantage of the fact that our media partners are here. So Hannah, as you're making some notes there, I feel like we have answered the call that the city gave us, which was to demonstrate that we can do this work. We've got data to demonstrate that ridership has increased. You can see through our involvement in the different organizations that we're coordinating with, we're being asked to support the community. So I think all of those things, Director Culp, point to concrete evidence that we've been successful and really we're just getting started. So I hope that answers the question.
It does, and I guess a follow-up would be maybe a cynical sounding remark, not towards the progress that you've made, but towards the interpretation of it. It is concrete evidence. I wonder if there is a next step that we can take with that evidence to make it more clear what it means to this community. What it means when we have a 5%, uptick in ridership, what it means when there's a 20% uptick in here. Or why it matters to people in this community who both ride and do not ride.
That's right. Yeah. Let me say this. We need to introduce some new folks on the team, but Brandon Meredith, who's here. Brandon, just stand up for a second. Our new director of external affairs, communications. He's really been brought on board, and thank you for supporting this additional position. Part of his job is to get the value proposition of these increases into digestible format. I'm going to give you a very specific example. Director Sanderfer had asked me this week to please drill down a little bit on what is this increase in ridership? What's happening? And when we did the deeper dive, where these trips are coming from, it's more people going to jobs, work opportunities. They're able to get to a job and make a living. They're able to get to dialysis appointments, medical appointments, an uptick in that particular area. They're able to take care of their health. Think about the ridership on Read and Ride. Nearly 10,000 student trips. Those students are able to get to after-school activities and really focus on improving their education. So there is a value proposition. I think what you're asking, and I think it's appropriate, For us, the immediate next step is drilling down on those stories and then articulating them not only publicly, but very targeted to our funding partners and potential funding partners, City of Red Bank, City of East Ridge, Hamilton County, City of Chattanooga, through these individual relationships. And then finally, if I just could, I want to just say, you were nice to say, you know, the success that I've had, but this is really a testament to start with our frontline employees, our operators, and it's through President Strickland's leadership, getting the word out. We've got to perform safely. We have to demonstrate good customer service. We've got to be kind and courteous. The management team really focusing in, we're getting organized. We're not where we need to be yet, getting organized, being able to start to trust the data, improving on-time performance, which is, you know, challenging for us to do. So I think it's properly telling the story of all these value propositions. So I would ask you to keep us accountable to properly tell those stories.
Charles, I'd like to pick up on some of the points you raised, because this is a good conversation, and Stephen, thank you for actually putting your finger right on a central issue. Another way to phrase your question is really, how do we do better at presenting the business case for Carter as it serves and supports the community? And I really do think, particularly, you know, if we consider the usual constraint of resources, and as we get into the budget planning cycle and all that, it's a very relevant topic. And, you know, if we just think of some of the things we've heard today, we had Dr. King present the engagement with the student group, and one of his slides demonstrated people's perceptions, like uninformed perceptions, but to everybody, that's their reality. And then once they dug a little bit and pulled some of the layers of the onion away, that perception changed with better information. And so I really do appreciate all your efforts and that of your team. And Brandon, I'm delighted you're on board to add further horsepower to this. The initiatives that you've taken, Charles, for community outreach with engagement to important stakeholders, to community groups, it may at face value seem, okay, that's interesting, but, you know, why should we engage with the engineering community and PRISA and all these people? But it is building alliances, it's sharing information, it's helping to shape perceptions of important stakeholders in our community. And so too, in particular, the engagement with community leaders, city council members, and so on. Now, you've mentioned that, you know, part of our journey that we discussed, and honestly, I can't believe it's already a year, that we discussed at your arrival, was that we want to transform Carter into truly a regional transit authority, so that it's to the benefit of the broader community. We are currently still very Chattanooga centric. And in a way, we can be disappointed that, you know, it's a cause-effect thing. We have had for a long time a very low level of engagement with Hamilton County, for example. That low level of engagement was probably, on the one hand, I don't know whether it's a chicken and egg thing, but it's a reality. The financial support that we got from the county was more like a token measure, as to be said. And on the other hand, we've just acknowledged repeatedly that we would like to improve our service to the broader Hamilton County community. And so I can well imagine that if you are looking at allocating resources, and the same goes for Red Bank and all these other cities that are in our region, that if you're allocating resources, and you always have more demands than you are able to fulfill, the knee-jerk reaction is there's no business case to supporting Carter because, frankly, they don't serve our community, so no funding. Well, of course, the flip side of that is that way you ensure that the status quo is maintained and probably gets worse. And so getting to this proof point of what is the business case for Carter? What is the economic value that we add? And I was delighted to hear you confirm that the growth in ridership is coming from economic opportunity of people in our community. We're helping them get to work with the student program, helping them get to places where they are learning. It's not easy, but we should make best efforts to get a proxy for the answer to that question. Because I think that is a compelling point of departure in our conversations with the city, with the mayors of Red Bank, with Mayor Wamp and his team, on how we can collectively combine forces to unleash the potential of Carter, but to elevate the contribution that we make to the broader community and the economic value that we can unlock by doing so. It is actually central to our existence. So it's an important point. And I know that we discuss these things often, but it's worth reminding ourselves that these topics are interrelated to our mission. And I really am very pleased and humbled, actually, at the level of engagement shown also by members of this board. All these roles that we perform are voluntary. And I'm grateful for the initiative that you show, the engagement and the support to the Carter leadership team and the organization. And Charles, again, for you and the team, right through to every layer in the organization. President Strickland and your guidance as well, that we are, I feel, beginning to work collaboratively towards executing on a focused vision. We have some important tasks. I have to play a little bit of a central role representing the board to support you in our engagement with our other stakeholders in the community, particularly as it comes to financial support. But getting these bases sort of ticked off will be an important part of our communication platform. Okay. Enough of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you've referenced the consent agenda. We probably already spent a lot of more time discussing things than anticipated, but are there any questions or comments on the financial report from the board member? Sonia, anything you'd like to highlight?
The month was, pretty much under our budget. We had budgeted for a loss and we ended with a small gain, so feel like we're on top for us.
All right. In that case, if I could ask for a motion to support the acceptance and adoption of the financial report.
Happy to accept.
Second, any opposed? So done. Thank you very much. The statistical report. Philip, thank you for compiling that in your usual thorough fashion. Any comments or questions to that?
I'll just call out that, I've been paying attention to ridership long before I was on this board. I attended meetings and reported ridership for about 1.5 years. And this, between our fixed route and our Car2Go, this last month was the highest ridership since I've been paying attention, which includes periods where we had free ridership post-pandemic that fell off the map. So that 92,000 number is the highest ridership that we have had within a month. So,
Including caravan as well.
yeah, I mean, on top of all the things that you've discussed, I'm just so blown away. And there's always the caveats of month to month weather, how many weekdays we've got, but I've not only the number 4 is doing exceptionally well, and every day that I ride the number 4, I'm just treated so well, and I love my drivers. UTC is knocking it out of the park with student engagement, and their numbers are up. So I just want to say thank you to absolutely everyone for making that happen.
How many of that increase in ridership, Corey, is from you riding the bus?
Yeah, now that I got that free pass, you know.
All right, well, excellent. I also, was very pleased to see, the very strong uptick in ridership. All right, with that then, motion to adopt the statistical report, please. In support, please.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any opposed? Right, approved. Chief of Staff report, Scott. Any comments to that? Questions?
I'll just say thank you, because that was very comprehensive, and I was actually about to inquire about some of those pieces, and then it proactively appeared, so I appreciate it.
Any topic you wish to highlight?
I think is interesting, Charles has put in place the management leadership team, to filter messages down so that we're all on the same page. And it's really come together well. I think that, we're as cohesive as we've ever been, and that, it's resulting in closed, communication loops, and things are getting done as a result of it.
Correct. I would also just add, I think, adding some strategic resource to the leadership team here is also helping to make these things happen, and I want to acknowledge your.
Yes, thank you.
All right, with that, motion to approve the Chief of Staff report. Second.
Second.
Is there any opposed? All right, so approved. Thank you very much. All right, we can get to work now on the real stuff. Agenda item 10, our first topic is the K-12 fare policy. Sonia.
Good morning. As an action item, we will talk about the student K-12 fare policy. And good morning, board chair, directors, colleagues, and the public. Continuing on the path of our community engagement, we'd like to bring to you and recommend a board approval of the K through 12 student fare policy. This action aligns with two strategic imperatives: one, a fiscal accountability, efficiency, and transparency under our finance area, and also under community partnerships, develop and implement meaningful relationships and community engagement. Our summary of need identifies that approval of this item will allow CARTA to implement permanently our innovative Read and Ride program, which is a collaborative effort between CARTA and the Chattanooga Public Library, where students K through 12 ride fare free on CARTA's fixed route bus network. This policy will allow students to continue benefiting from free transportation, ensuring they can access a wide range of destinations, including our local libraries, parks, recreation centers, museums, and more. It's an investment in the future of our community, and by providing reliable transportation, CARTA is removing barriers to education and enrichment, enabling our youth to reach their fullest potential, as identified in our HCS Partnership Education Award that we recently received. The background and history, the program was launched on June 1st, 24, and has successfully completed 9,522 trips to date by students across our city. This milestone is a testament to the positive impact of providing accessible transportation to our community's youth. It embodies Mayor Tim Kelly's One Chattanooga plan, which demonstrates our shared commitment to a united, thriving community, which was made possible by our partnership with Chattanooga Public Library. The program will be reviewed annually for continuation based upon operational, financial, and other considerations. In addition, a Title VI fare analysis was completed as part of CARTA's process for updating fares, which includes eliminating fares for a particular rider. A finding of no disproportionate burden or disparate impact has been made. So, at this time, I hope that, we'll get approval to continue this program permanently. It was brought to the committee, for, recommendations and suggestions and review prior to bringing it to the board.
Any further comment? I know that all the board members were at the committee meeting. Observation?
I'll just re-ask a question. I know the answer and I know there'll be a press release, but just confirmation in the process, it's still that students and parents would go to the library, to any of the libraries, I believe, and get the cards that they would use for this program. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So the burden's not totally on the driver of the bus.
Yeah, and there's multiple options. Your neighborhood library, not necessarily only downtown.
And then a guardian is included with this as well. Okay.
In my opinion, this is an excellent example of how Carter can play a role in supporting our community. I would much rather, and I'm highly confident no one is going to challenge me for once. I would much rather see 10,000 kids in the library doing constructive personal improvement and learning things than any alternative which is less good. And that's how you build leaders of tomorrow. And so, if ever there was an expression of how Carter is appropriately executing its mandate, I think this project is such an example. All right, can I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we definitely approve.
Definitely approved. Can I have a second to that? Second. Any opposed? All right, so approved. Any our procurement report, please. There's lights.
There's just one. Good morning, Chairman Dennison, Board of Directors, Carter colleagues, Mr. Frazier, and the public. I'll be writing an update for the November procurement report. But first, since it'll be the first one of probably many, I'll quickly go over the general layout of the report. Going forward each month, there will be a procurement report if we have any actions that require the board's approval or information from that we're gonna divide them into 4 areas. So the first one will be probably what you're expecting to see, which would be the approval of contracts over 50,000. We'll also be bringing board approval of the use of the request for proposals process. There will also be a report if there's any sole source procurements during the reporting period, and if there's any emergency procurements within the reporting period. As part of updates, its procurement policy, which is coming in the coming months. Future procurement reports will include information in each of these areas. But for this month, we're asking only for approval for the selection of a contract. This would be for Trico commercial painting. It would be for painting of the bus barn and the breezeway area. It would be a 1-year agreement not to exceed 75,000. This is a one-time purchase for the provision of labor materials, equipment, and expertise necessary to complete this exterior painting project. This procurement was completed through a request for proposals procurement method, which will soon be coming to the board for approval, which was released on August 16th. 2 proposals were received. Carta advertised this procurement in the Chattanooga Times Free Press, included a notice and link on the RFP on Carta's website, and sent the RFP to 3 interested proposers. Proposals were evaluated with the following criteria. Cross proposal was 40 points. Qualifications and references of the firm and staff proposed for the project, including subcontractors, if any. There were not any subcontractors. 15 points. Project plan, 15 points, and completion date and timeline, 30 points. The fiscal impact for completion of this project is $65,740.75. That was the the bid that included repainting the Carta logo. Staff's requesting approval of $75,000 by the board for any contingencies that may arise during the execution of the work. The term of contract will be for 1 year and will conclude when the scope of work is completed. Carta will utilize Improve Act funds from TDOT for this project. TDOT will provide 75% of the costs, and Carta will provide 25% through its local capital budget. This action aligns with Carta's strategic imperatives of fiscal accountability and compliance. In summary, staff's requesting approval for the selection of Trico Commercial Painting for a not to exceed amount of $75,000. That concludes my reports, and if you have any questions or anything. Thank you.
I mean, do we know when last? voting was paid?
I don't know. It's never been painted since I've been here.
It was in the eighties, early eighties. I'm thinking like 83, maybe, long time ago.
You know, I just drove up here this morning again, and I looked at it and it looked so miserable. And I actually remember a few months ago, Grace wanted to do, they were doing a nice article on Carter, and they wanted to take a photograph of me in front of the shed. And we figured we should put our logo in the back, and I was like so embarrassed, to be honest, because it looked terrible. And frankly, the photo that eventually appeared, I was in a way thankful, because the shed looked more terrible than I. But I would say it's probably overdue. Are there any other comments or questions to this topic? I know that we did discuss it quite extensively in our committee meeting. Right, it's the board meeting. Then I'm going to ask for a motion to approve
Motion to
refurbishment and maintenance and painting of our building.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
thank you very much. Any opposed?
No.
All right. Approved. We will paint this building. Do we start tomorrow or when?
We're gonna sign the contracts today.
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, that is going to be everything. All right, item C, collective bargaining agreement extension. Jeff, if I could ask you to update us, please.
Well, good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, good morning, public. If I could draw your attention to agenda item 10C. Approval of the labor contract, that's number 48. So the staff recommends that the board approve the memorandum of agreement between CARTA and Amalgamated Transit Union Local 1212. This action aligns with CARTA's strategic imperatives of working in agreement with the ATU, fostering employee satisfaction and supporting operational stability. This helps align labor costs with budgets and enhances the company's reputation, all of which contributes to growth, compliance, and a strong brand image. Approval of this item will allow CARTA to formally adopt the tentative agreement between CARTA and the ATU, which the board has received and is in your board packets. The history, background history on September 16th, 2021, the CARTA Board of Directors formally approved the authority's labor agreement, contract number 47 with the ATU. This agreement came into effect on July 1st of 2021 and expired on June 30th of 2024. After multiple rounds of negotiations with the union, which began on June 26th of 2024, CARTA and the ATU have recently reached a successful agreement with 99% voting in favor. The fiscal impact of the wage increases for the union employees is approximately $594,000 annually. And that concludes my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Board members, any questions or comments?
Just thank you for all of the assistance. I know that you all had several reiterations of conversations. I appreciate the due diligence of giving us it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm From my side, firstly, I certainly welcome that we have reached an agreement. Thank you to both parties, I think, to the leadership of the ATU. Through you also, President Strickland, thank you for your role and that you could convey to your colleagues. It was a protracted discussion, but I think in the end, also we reached a collaborative outcome that provided for sustainability. And also a good outcome, I think, for all the parties involved. To the Carter management team as well. Thank you for your professional approach in ensuring that we could work collaboratively and not combatively. We have many examples, but one that springs to mind to me recently is reminding me of the fact that in these kind of negotiations, and in fact with most business negotiations, if you follow a winner takes all philosophy, it's actually only a lose-lose outcome, because winner takes all is not ever sustainable in any negotiation or agreement. We have seen, and I'm not privy to the details, but at least as an innocent observer, lopsided labor agreements between major employers and the unions. I'm going to cite UPS and Boeing as recent examples, where immediately upon conclusion of the labor agreement, it was followed by thousands upon thousands of layoffs. There's an example of no such thing as winner take all. And this was a far more constructive approach, I think, taking into account the realities of the constraints that are well known and impacting Carter. We hope that we can address those going forward as well. I think for Carter to achieve its long-term vision and mission that we have discussed several rounds now, having a professional, highly trained, highly skilled and high performance organization made up of professional members who are appropriately compensated is an important enabler. And I look forward that we can continue on that journey of progress. Any other comments or questions? Can I have a motion to approve, please? The collective bargaining agreement as presented.
Motion to approve.
And then second, any opposed? So approved. Thank you very much to all. Comments?
Yeah, before we leave out of here, I want to thank you all for your exceptional support for our workers here at Carter. I also want to thank you, Mr. Frazier, and your team here at Carter for taking the time out for us to get this resolved. This is the first time that we collaborated with our CEO without attorneys involved. And I think we did some great progress for doing so. And I want to thank you for opening your door when I get in just to rank like, hey, this got to get resolved. And I think we can move forward in a different direction. I want to appreciate you all as the board for giving us CEO with a plan and a vision. I had to take time out to say that, and Bill would know just a few years ago, we were standing on the corners with signs and Carter had a vision in place. And I'm gonna talk to you about something after this. So part of this agreement is a vision to get us moving forward in the right direction. Like Chairman Nyson said, building the company moving forward with all of the areas with the mindset of growing this place. And I appreciate you all for bringing us a leader here with the vision.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you say no attorneys were in the room? What's the world coming to?
See, we work here.
All right.
We know this.
If I may, I really appreciate you as well, President Strickland, and also she asked me very pointedly, will you come to the Labor Hall and explain? And I was like, yes, absolutely, I will. So that was a really good experience for me to, just remind the employees how important their role is and this particular step. And so I appreciate you, appreciating me, and it's reciprocal for sure.
Excellent, thank you, well done. All right. Moving on to new business, please, Scott.
Again, I'm pleased to share CARTA's involvement in the 40th Share Your Christmas Food Drive, which, as most Chattanoogas know, is an initiative benefiting the Chattanooga Area Food Bank and helping 180,000 food insecure individuals across the Tennessee Valley and Northwest Georgia. This year, CARTA will participate once again by allowing riders to pay for a one-way fare with the donation of a non-perishable food item. And we will do this, which is different than the past. We will collect food for 3 days, December 10, 11, and 12. And this applies to fixed route, caravan, and car-to-go, all services. And on December 13th, we'll put that all on a bus and deliver it to the food bank. For those of you who don't know, the Share Your Christmas campaign is a critical part of the holiday season, aiming to provide stability and support to those in need. And CARTA's role in this effort reflects our commitment to connecting communities and empowering lives. To support the initiative, CARTA has developed collateral materials to raise awareness, thanks to our new marketing team and his design gifts. These include flyers, which you can see on the screen, and posters displayed on our bus and across our social media platforms. Additionally, we've specifically marked collection boxes with that image on our vehicles to make it convenient for riders to contribute. And I encourage everyone to spread the word about this campaign and its goals of addressing hunger in our region, so we can make a meaningful impact this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like that. So that is for information, right? Yeah. Any old business topics? No old business. How about that?
Means we're clearing things off the board.
We might even make you hot stuff. All right, with that, then, I think we can safely adjourn our meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.